Have you ever noticed how the loudest person in the room usually has the least to say? Yeah, because true power doesn't need to shout. It doesn't need to prove anything. It speaks through silence. Silence is one of the most misunderstood forms of strength. Most people think being silent means being weak, shy, or unsure. But in reality, silence is control. It's awareness. It's dominance without aggression. When you understand the psychology behind silence, you stop reacting to noise. You stop explaining yourself to people who'll never understand you. And that's when you become untouchable. Let's talk about why saying nothing often speaks the loudest. Here's the truth. We live in a world that rewards noise. Social media, arguments, opinions, everyone's talking, but no one's listening. And because of that, silence becomes rare and powerful. Think about it. The moment you stop chasing attention, people start wondering about you. What's he thinking? Why isn't she reacting? Silence creates mystery. It makes people curious. And in psychology, curiosity equals power. When you don't react instantly, you control the emotional tempo. You decide when and if to speak. That's emotional intelligence in action. Because silence doesn't mean you have nothing to say. It means you're choosing when to say it. Point 1. Silence makes you unpredictable. People can only manipulate what they understand. If you always react, always explain, always justify, you become predictable. But when you go quiet, people lose control over you. They can't read you. And that makes them uncomfortable, because uncertainty is power. Think about the last time someone stayed calm during an argument. The louder you got, the quieter they became. It drove you crazy, didn't it? That's the power of silence. It shifts control without saying a word. In a world full of emotional reactors, the calm one always wins. Point 2. Silence protects your energy. Not every battle deserves your voice. Most people waste their energy defending themselves, proving their worth, or trying to win meaningless debates. But here's the truth. Not everyone deserves a reaction. Your peace is more valuable than your pride. When you learn to stay silent, you stop feeding negativity. You stop letting other people's chaos pull you in. That's not weakness, that's discipline. And discipline is the real sign of strength. Next time someone tries to drag you into drama, remember, silence isn't losing. It's walking away with your power intact. Point 3. Silence builds respect. The more you talk, the more likely you are to say something you regret. But when you speak less, your words carry weight. People start to listen. They realize, when you finally do speak, it's worth hearing. There's a reason the most confident people are often the quietest in the room. They don't need to prove anything. Their presence does the talking. Look at leaders, thinkers, or people you admire. They're calm, composed, and deliberate. They speak with purpose, not impulse. That's what makes them stand out. Because silence gives you time to think, and thinking before speaking is one of the rarest skills today. Point 4. Silence reveals truth. When you stop talking, you start noticing. People's words, their tone, their energy, everything becomes clearer. Silence gives you perspective. You see who truly listens, who gets uncomfortable, who fills the air just to hide insecurity. You start to understand people at a deeper level, not by what they say, but by what they avoid saying. And that's when you realize silence isn't empty. It's full of answers. In relationships, friendships, and business, silence helps you read between the lines. It gives you space to observe before you respond. That's how you stop being reactive and start being intentional. So here's your takeaway. Silence isn't about being passive. It's about being powerful enough not to react. It's about choosing peace over ego, clarity over chaos, and observation over reaction. When you master silence, you master yourself. Because sometimes the most powerful statement is saying nothing at all. Let your actions speak louder. Let your calm confuse them. And let your silence protect your energy, your focus, and your peace. Now, think about this. Where in your life are you speaking too much? Who are you explaining yourself to when you don't need to? Maybe it's time to step back and let silence do the talking. If this message hit you, drop a power in silence in the comments. Share this with someone who talks too much but listens too little. And if you're serious about mastering your mind, subscribe. Because silence is just the beginning of your strength.